For our peppermint, we will be using a 3.5mm hook. The first thing we want to do is create a magic ring. To create a magic ring, place your 2 fingers out like this. Take your yarn and place it over your 2 fingers. Secure it with your thumb. The yarn that's coming from your skein is referred to as the working yarn. So grab your working yarn and wrap it around your 2 fingers. And we're placing it behind the first piece of yarn. This, and then secure it with your other finger here. We want to slide the hook under the first piece of yarn and over the second piece of yarn. And then what we're going to be doing is pulling the second piece of yarn through while we turn it to create a loop with your hook under the first piece of yarn and over the second piece of yarn. Slide it through, turn your hook just like this. If your loop is really loose, you can grab the yarn here and tighten it. Now we want to slide our hook under the yarn, wrap it around it, and we're going to pull it through this loop. Just like that. Now we have our magic ring. We're going to begin by making a chain 1, and the chain 1 does not count as a stitch. To make a chain, yarn over, and then pull it through this loop right here. We are going to make 8 double crochets around in the magic ring, and we will be alternating colors every double crochet. Let's make our first double crochet. Yarn over. We need an extra loop on our hook for a double crochet, and then insert it into the magic ring, and then yarn over again, and then pull it through the magic ring. You should have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Pull your hook up a little bit like this. We're going to be changing to our next color. We're going to be going through these 2 front loops right here. Place your hook through those 2 loops, and then we're taking our second color and we are going to put it on our hook and pull it through those 2 loops. We're going to create our next double crochet. So yarn over, place it through the magic ring, yarn over, pull up 3 loops, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. We're going to pull this loop out of the white. So just take your white yarn string here and pull the loop through. Now we have 2 double crochets, and we need to switch our color again. We're going to do the same thing. So lift your hook up, place it through those 2 loops in the front, grab your white yarn, put it on the hook, and then pull it through the 2 loops. Now let's make another double crochet. So yarn over, place it through the magic ring, and by the way, I am taking all of the yarn strings with me, that way I can secure them easier. Pull up 3 loops, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now pull your mint string. We're just going to pull that loop out. Now continue on alternating your colors until we have 8 double crochets in total. I am finished making my 8 double crochets. I'm going to tighten the magic ring. So grab your white yarn tail from your magic ring and then pull tightly to close the magic ring. Just like that. I want you to pull up your hook again, and we are going to pull white through as if we were going to color change again. We're not going to make another double crochet though. To get rid of this mess, we can go ahead and cut off our second color now, just like that, and then you can just pull that down. To make a plushie mint, we need to create 2 sides. So on one of the sides, you can go ahead and cut the white yarn. It doesn't need to be very long. It can be, you know, just the same size that I just cut that second color. But on your second side, you need to leave a long tail for sewing. We don't need too much yarn here, but just cut a long tail. Pull the white through. And now we are going to close our round. I prefer to do this over slip stitching to the last stitch because slip stitching makes it a little bulky. So what we're going to do is make a invisible join, but it's not going to be like your typical invisible join. Typically you would skip the first stitch and go into the next stitch. For this pattern, it looks a little too bulky if I do that. What I'm going to do is just try to hide my invisible join the best I can. And take your needle. We are inserting into the first half double crochet, and that is these 2 loops on the top here. And I'm inserting my needle to go away from me, so pull it through to the back. And I'm going to pull tightly. And we're going to go back through your last double crochet with your second color. On the top of the stitch there is 2 loops here. We want to just insert into the back loop, and that is this one here. This is the front loop, the one that's facing us, and this is the back loop, the one that is away from us. So insert your hook into the back loop of the last double crochet, and then pull away from you again, and then pull tight. And there we go, we have closed our mint. Now what we need to do is secure some of the threads in the back here. The threads that were worked into our magic ring right here, these should be pretty secure, but the ends that you finish with, so on your first piece, you're gonna have your white yarn. You wanna do the exact same thing that I'm about to do with this. You wanna just kind of secure it through the stitches a bit. If this is your second piece though, like mine is with the sewing tail, you want to leave the sewing tail out. So take the yarn through just a couple of stitches back here, just to secure it a little more. Now what I like to do is tie knots with the pieces in the back just to make sure they don't come loose at all. After you have tied your knots, now we are just going to cut these. You want to cut them short, but just be careful not to cut them too short because the knots can come undone. If you are following my 3-part tutorial where we are making a really cute festive holiday garland, then you want to stop here. We are going to be attaching these mints to the garland later. So what I would do is take stitch marker and just connect any of these stitches here just to keep them together, and then put it aside, and we will put those on our garland last. If you're just here to make a plushie mint, then I'm going to show you how to do that now. To sew our 2 pieces together, you want to put the mint back to back like this, and you want to line up their colors. So I have my sewing end facing me right now. We are going to insert into the first stitch of the other mint on the other side, and I am taking the needle away from me. Now we are going to begin our repeating sewing pattern that we're just going to do the whole way around the mint. So insert your hook into the next 2 stitches on both sides just like this, and now we're pulling the yarn towards us. And then we are going to insert into the next 2 pieces, and we are going to go away from us. You are just going to repeat that all the way around, going away and towards you. When I'm back at the beginning, I'm just going to go through the first stitch one more time. Just like that. Now I'm going to bring my needle into the middle of my mint, and I am going to weave in the end through the middle of the mint. So just insert your needle through and then come up through the middle. After you have weaved in your tail a few times, we can go ahead and cut this. And there we go, our mint is all complete. I hope you all enjoyed creating this mint, and I will see you next time. Bye!